We are on.
We're on. Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to Stephen and everybody else who's listening and watching. I think really it's a case now of snuggling down under something nice and warm because we're going to have some stories today. We have lots of
Storytelling
storytelling. So, are you
from
sitting
New York. Just so we're
from
clear, it's from New
from
York,
New
not New
York
York
State,
City, New York State, right?
New York State, Stephen?
They're
So it's
so
only
close. They're so
I
close to the
know,
Canadian
I know.
border. They French kick mooses. That's what they're doing up there.
Okay,
French
okay,
kissing the
but
mooses.
you
Yeah,
you do realize, of course, New York State only qualifies you for 50 cents on the dollar.
I'm aware of that. That's why I have to say
Yeah.
it four times instead of where you say New York City one time covers the
Yeah.
whole thing. But New York,
Okay.
great New York, big
Okay.
deal.
So
Yeah.
we're back with our favorite storyteller, Noosh, and
Right. Her new segment's called Noosh's Bits.
Noosh's bits. And I'd
Noosh
just like to
Bits.
say to everybody, if you're sitting very, very comfortably,
I would
let
be.
us begin.
Oh, we got to bring Noosh in then. This is very
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Let's bring her in, and she's there. She is in from the there. Let's get a close up. Everybody, there she's waving. For you people on the podcast, she's waving, and she's dressed in all of red, and a red hat and a red jacket, everything. So now the people on YouTube are like, "What?" So you have to
Yeah.
actually go to the
It's only
podcast and
because you're.
see.
If you're listening to this, it's because Stephen's colorblind.
There, pretty much, and she's a very attractive black woman. So there you go. So anyway, so Miss Noosh is going to be reading on every Friday. We're going to do something with her because she is very bubbly and we like her. But she is also a writer. So we are going to at some point do a live Friday show where you, the audience, can give her information and she will make up a story. As she was telling us earlier, it could be about a pickle, which, goes with what's that word again? The Cinderella in Dutch?
Yeah. Ask the Puster.
Astapusta, which is we're going to make a
Yeah.
movie. So it could
Yeah.
be about the
Oh, it could
Nastapusta,
be
a pickle, whatever.
It could be asked to push this in a
Uh,
pickle, of course.
there
Yeah.
you go. I've heard
Yeah.
Astapusta uses a pickle because she can't get
Yeah.
the prince. Anyway, but we're here till Thursday. Tip the wait staff. We're at the Catskills. Anyway, Miss Noosh is going to start reading, and David and I will actually be quiet. But is there anything we want to say before Miss Noosh reads?
Well, I just want. I'm really excited about the idea that Nusha is going. What she's going to be doing with the book. As far as I understand, it's going to be an ongoing process, and it's going to get even better when she in fact invites everybody to join her in writing the book. So it could be a character, it could be a color, it could be a place, could be anything
A
that you
sentiment.
a sentiment which you would like to get involved in the story. Put your name in, your real name, your fictitious name, or whatever, and that will be woven into this fabric. Um, yeah, and that's about me said really. I'm just going to
Oh,
snuggle up because it's a bit cold here in Holland today. I'm just going to snuggle up and yeah, let my ears get the warmth of a wonderful voice.
all right.
Wonderfully.
It's all you. No pressure, right?
All right, so today I will be starting with something that I wrote in Maine a few months ago that I found by chance yesterday. Um, so it's always a nice surprise to find bits and pieces all around of all my writings now that I started with you two putting them together. All right. There's not quite a way to be seen of shades away, a greyish spleen. In splendor it will show us all, but wait. Let me those lines try to recall. I reached in my eyes chambers a few cones, some blooming blossoms my mind owns, and took horizons from their leaves, hoping that no birds would them weave. Yet seeing colors of a hue, a morning spring, delicious dew, they took away droplets of me, so that me they can at least see. But hard to know when to let go, sorrows in heart trying to grow. Protecting your cones is a must, for all us animals for trust. The wilderness are in a soul, will try to take to make us fall. But when you find along their whiskers, making you trust again in whispers, That's when your chamber's cones are safe, keeping your mind's house off a rave, where the reflection of your eyes make you see seen, and that's the prize.
That was very, very nice. Now I
Wow.
have a question. When you're done, do we do this? So it's like a
Yes,
coffee house
you
thing.
can do
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
everything.
wanted to make sure. Just wanted to
Even
make sure. That was
fireworks. I'll
beautiful.
take fireworks.
Fireworks. Okay. We're gonna get that special effect for you.
Let me take. It's finally
And for you
warming
people on
up
the
in here.
podcast, now she's taking off things. See,
No,
now you
because it
definitely
was
want to get
really
to
cold
YouTube.
this morning, so now it's finally warming up. Maybe it's the poetry
There
gets
you
my
go.
blood flowing.
That's what we like to hear.
All right, so this story is something that I started sketching about, I don't know, maybe I would say 8 years ago with my very dear friend Mohsen. And with he's an artist as well. And we together were always being kids whenever we're spending some time making, it could be anything, making art, writing. I even did stop motion with him. I remember. My goodness, I should find that for you guys. That was hilarious and tedious. But that day I remember we were in my loft in Williamsburg in the city, and we're on the floor just drawing things, and then we started writing The Adventures of Mohsen, and Noosh, and the Magic Ostrich. So off we go. That's a kid's story. Here's a story of a wondrous world. Our world, ah, and what a world. Our world was so wonderful, so wonderful. Everything was entwined so well together, so happily, that there were no problems anywhere. Not one! Can you believe it? Everything was happy, lovely. And the secret of this world was dreams. What we were all entwined with in such happiness were dreams. Dreams were the most important part of our lives. Every day, after each of us doing what we're meant to do around the world, we're then going to bed to close our eyes and slowly melt in Morpheus' arms to take us where we couldn't live what we wanted to do down on our beautiful planet, taking us over the clouds and leave in dreams all the things we couldn't do down here. So each of us around the globe, we would swirl in dreams, meeting the ones that we've never met but yet had the same dreams, and have each night those magical experiences together until we finally blink our lashes and open our eyes back to where we were. And this was what linked all of us together each night, every night, until one night. We never knew what happened, but this one night no one dreamt. At least no one dreamt in my village. And when the sun came up, everyone came out looking so lost and unsettled, not knowing what just happened. I've never seen anyone like this before. I was so worried. I did not know what to do. I didn't. And so didn't the world. But we were not the only ones. Someone the same age as me across the planet saw the same phenomenon happen to them and felt the same way, not knowing what to do. And so here we were, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, nothing changed. I had to do something. I didn't know what, I didn't know how, but I knew I had to do something. So I just left. I left my home, my tribe, my country to find a solution. So I left, following the one star in front of me that I only knew, shining on my way through. And this is when I saw how everything went wrong with our dreams away. At the same time, a young boy, Mozan, did feel the same way I felt and took upon him to find out what was wrong to be able to fix it. We were coming together from the tips of our planet towards each other, not knowing it at the time, but discovering how bad the situation was. Everything was upside down. Nothing was in its place any longer. When the sun rose, I was walking by a river of moaning cats with a whale trapped on a rock with a cloud around her. And then I found myself in a field of pencils, unable to draw, looking up at the sun that couldn't shine. God, how much worse could it get? Mazan across our world from me encountered melting dunes, leaving place to rocks. And then lost, trying to find his way in stars that weren't shining anymore. Oh my, we were both so lost. But still, knowing that we were the only one there on a mission to save our world of dreams. So we kept on going, on and on, not knowing that we were walking towards each other all this time. And after seeing so much of the upside down world, we did finally saw a mirage across walking towards each other. I remember so vividly being so happy to finally see someone alive after all those weeks. And the closer and closer we got to each other, we finally saw a silhouette. But then, the closer we got to each other, I started remembering him. And so did he, at the same moment. With each step closer to each other, we started remembering that we've known each other from the beginning, from our dreams. And as soon as we recognized each other from afar, we ran into each other's arms. At last, we finally met. That sweet wonder I've been dreaming about in all my adventures. Ah, so hard to put in words what we both felt at that moment. But there we were, and we understood why we finally met. We were there to save our world. So after sharing all of our dismantled sights along the way, we somehow finally fell asleep into each other's arms. And for the first time since this whole catastrophe happened, we both had a dream. For the first time ever since everyone stopped, we finally dreamt. The same dream. And when it was over, we woke up together, in each other's arms still, having the solutions to all of this matter. We needed to find the key. The one and only. The magic ostrich.
That was very cool. I like the magic ostrich. That's
I
a wonderful
love the magic
children's story.
ostrich.
Yeah,
That is
beautiful,
very nice.
beautiful. Yeah, I
Thank you.
hope that people are, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you found that as soothing as I did. It's, yeah,
Aw,
It
lovely.
is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
It's good on the ear. That's
Yes.
my best compliment I can give you today, really.
I wrote much more of this, but I couldn't quite find where it was. But yeah, basically all the world is upside down. You know, it's like a plane that can fly, and all of those things. I made a whole list of all the things that would be upside down in a world without dreams. But yes, the
Oh, that's
dreams. We need to follow our dreams. Otherwise, we die. What happens without
Yeah,
dreams? Goodness.
yeah.
true.
Well, what
That'd be
happens without
crazy.
what happens without dreams is that people don't have an opportunity to become part of one of your stories, because
There you go.
everybody's dreaming to be part of a book and part of something which
Voila.
is going to go on and on and on. So, yeah,
We can continue the dream and
I,
as long as I breathe. There you go. In the
yeah,
There you go.
book.
I like that.
I want to be in the book. So,
Well, you
but
know what to do.
I'll let other.
What are
I'm
you?
gonna.
Are you Santa Claus? Naughty or nice? I want to be in the book.
I want to be. I want to be in that book. No,
There you go.
I'm going to wait for other people to jump in first, but
Right.
that would be cool.
I already know
You'll
what I'm gonna.
get your turns. Don't you worry.
I already know
Yeah,
what we're starting with. We're starting with the pickle, the I'm the plumper thingamajigger, and a couple. I'm starting with all that stuff. Yeah,
I
yeah,
like the pickle. We
I
should
like the
definitely have
pickle.
a pickle.
yeah. It's a new.
There
It's a New York pickle. But
Oh, they're
New
the best.
pickle. Oh my God, I love this
The
already.
kosher New York pickles are this big. I actually have a jar this
yeah,
big full of them.
obviously, Stephen, obviously they would not be small, would they? I mean, come on.
No, well, nobody in New York is small. Hello,
Yeah.
ladies. Anyway, just so
That's
we're
what she
clear on
said.
that. So that's what she said.
You know,
Hello.
actually, I just had a thought about the human fabric. One thing that could be
Yeah.
maybe also interesting is that, I mean, not only we do a story with human characters in the real life, but we can also put, I mean, we can intertwine it with also, I don't know, Daffy Duck drops in. I mean, I don't know if I can keep
Sure.
Daffy Duck, probably for legal
Yeah.
reasons, I'm guessing. But
No,
we
but
can bring cartoons in and maybe
yeah,
constellations. You know, we can
it's
be very inclusive. Isn't it
yeah,
the time of inclusivity?
it certainly is, and I think that
Yes.
yeah, like I say, if you any name, place, thing, emotion, or whatever, I
Yeah.
And it's
think
going to
new
be called Noosh Spitz. It's going to be called Noosh Spitz. I like it.
on Noosh Bits, yeah,
That's what we're gonna. That's what this show is going to be titled is Noosh Spitz.
The
So
Noosh
yeah,
that
Bits.
the
the
Noosh
Noosh Bits,
Spitz.
The Noosh Bits
Everyone,
with two old farts. Look at that.
yeah,
there you go. Look at that.
or
Now
or
basically we're not even
two
two old farts with the Noosh Spitz.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's just what I was thinking. Yeah,
So
two old farts have Noosh Bits, but yeah,
that sounds like I'm going to get some food. What are you going to do? I'm going to get some Noosh Bits later. It'll be really
Oh my
good. I'm
God.
very excited.
I can make you a recipe for Noosh Bits.
Okay.
I'm
yeah,
feeling some delicious fried chicken with a Noosh recipe. You know that
okay,
actually you guys were in the city, so I participated in that show with what's his name, Bobby Fay or somebody of the
Bobby
cooking
Fisher.
industry of the Food
Right.
Network, and it was this
Yeah.
show, and I still haven't watched it. It's called 3 Days to Open,
Okay.
and I did open with my friend this joint, which is called Sticky's Fingers. The first one was on 8th Street,
Oh.
and it's basically fried chicken. And
Yeah.
my recipe, where I added pink peppercorns, is still
Nice.
there when I went there a couple months ago. So that's a
Nice.
Noosh bit you should try in the city.
Okay.
It already
Well,
exists.
another thing you have to try in the city is our restaurant, which is called Dim Sum Darling in around the corner from Rockefeller Center at 135 West 50th Street.
I
So
wrote
there
it
you
down. We're
go.
gonna be down in December, so we'll
Okay.
be going
Well,
there in
let me know
December.
when you're going to be because I go back and forth between Austin and New York. And if I know you and Michael are going to be in the city, if you're in the city
I
that
think
week,
we're
then we'll
gonna be
get
there
together.
the 12th.
All right. You'll let us know. We'll make a
I'll let you
plan. It'll
know.
be very exciting.
For
So
now,
we
let's
got all our
continue with
plugs in.
some more Noosh bits.
Yes.
So this Noosh bit is something I wrote many years ago, and it's in French. So for French, since you told me I can do multiple languages, today we'll only have French, but eventually we will do Russian and Spanish and even Farsi. So get ready.
Before you start though, we are a multilingual show. We can't speak anything well but we have a bunch of people that can do it for us. So we're very excited about this.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, I don't know what language that was, Stephen. Would you like to repeat what you just said?
No, because then I'd have to do it in English, God forbid. So
Well, there you go.
all
You
right,
need to
Miss.
ask Santa to teach you a language for this Christmas.
He said no, but he doesn't believe in Santa.
I've asked Santa for some other things. So yeah, to do with
He
Too
language.
doesn't
late.
believe
So
he doesn't believe in Santa.
yeah, that's true.
Aww.
I'm Jewish. I believe in the candles.
I'm Jewish too. I believe in Santa.
Listen, I met Santa when I was a little child. I'm still traumatized. So anyway, big fat
Yeah.
guy visits kids at night, has some reindeer. I don't trust this guy. I'm just saying. So, there's some issues going on here.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
he's
reindeer with the red nose. I come from Russia.
yeah.
Red nose means drunk as fuck. Pardon my French. So
That's
I
okay.
don't know about
Rudolph.
this.
Listen,
I'm
look at
still
this.
I'm still traumatized from having to sit on Santa's lap, but that's another story.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
It's too
yeah.
early for that. It's only 9 o'clock here.
Oh, it's not.
It's never
It's
too early for sitting on Santa's lap. I'm dressing
no.
up next week as
Stop.
Santa and going to the all-girls school up the street. I'm very excited. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Miss Noosh,
Well,
please clean up our show and take us to the
This
next.
will be, yes, exactly. Bring your head back. This will be the French bit. Je viens de réajuster cette esquisse que j'avais ébauchée brièvement il y a quelque temps déjà sur le mur. Quelques couleurs rouge, magenta, opaque. Donnant la
Oh,
Vous êtes
I think
me?
we lost her. I think that was. Now you're good. We don't see you, but we're good.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
You?
Yes, we see you. Hello.
Can you
We
hear
have.
me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
We hear you and see you.
Pardon me.
yeah.
I had a.
Now
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
I can
can.
hear you.
You can. We can hear you. Uh-oh. This is what happens when we
Let me
record.
see.
Technical difficulties, but we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
How are
Yeah.
you?
I can hear.
How are
Can
you?
you wave if you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay,
can. We
I
can.
can't hear you, but I'll continue. I don't know what happened, but something happened. So
That
I can't
sounds like
hear
the
you for
ultimate
some reason,
marriage.
but I'm gonna start the French right now. If you can hear me, that's perfect. All right. Je viens de réajuster juste cette esquisse que j'avais ébauchée brièvement il y a quelque temps déjà sur le mur. Quelques couleurs, rouge, magenta, opaque, donnant la goutte de vie essentielle au monde en ses bouts de ruban. Pour la première fois depuis tant d'années, j'ai enfin ressenti un besoin qui m'a tant manqué, me mettant en apnée chaque matin au réveil au travers de ma vie. J'ai du mal à y croire, même peut-être peur. Si ce n'était qu'une illusion, encore, je ne suis pas sûre de pouvoir la résoudre, ou même la survivre. Toutes ces couleurs de la vie devant moi, chaque clin d'œil, déferlant le kaléidoscope des teintes qui me manquent de l'arc-en-ciel que j'avais. Ces couleurs, toute une vie. Et je suis là, assise pour la première fois depuis tant, à écrire quelques mots qui enfin semblent résonner en moi. Suis-je là? Est-ce vrai? Comme si l'on sortait de Paris un vendredi soir en embouteillage, conduisant des heures, qui pour moi étaient tant d'années, et enfin ouvrir les fenêtres au réveil à Val d'Isère. Cette première bouffée d'air fraîche, comment ai-je pu vivre sans pouvoir respirer si longtemps? Robert m'a toujours dit, le temps fait toujours son œuvre. Et pour la première fois, l'écho de sa voix résonne en moi, et toute mon âme meurtrie par le temps. Temps inconditionnel et sans répit, masochiste et fuyant. Lui qui m'a perdu tant de fois entre toutes ces insidieuses lignes et crochets. Le temps, démarcation si faillible en l'esprit. Non. La sonorité de ces mots, invitant nos sourcils en sapin. Mais peut-être serait-il notre premier chapitre? Ce temps qui nous balade et nous perd, sans pouvoir jamais saisir le rythme de son pouls, et qui accélère au gré de nos avis divers et incongrus, de ce que chaque jour veut faire, tant qu'il a la parole. Chacun perçoit le temps comme son unique univers, métronome qui bat toujours aussi de l'aile dans nos esprits incapables de l'avoir ou de pouvoir le freiner. Le temps, une des choses indéniables de nos courtes vies, qui nous berce et nous embusque et nous torture et assouvit. L'unique métronome stable de notre vie que l'on tord à courir à travers pour attraper son bruit. Sa note, sa phrase. Revenir au début. Définir son sujet. Soulignant l'adjectif de son objet direct pour enfin trouver son verbe. Celui qui nous guide dans les saccades clairsemées de cet engin parfait en son œuvre qui a donné depuis tant. Et nous donne la mesure malgré tout. Ce tout to think about, si l'on prend de prendre le temps.
Very cool.
My goodness,
We liked it.
I can't hear you. Can I
You
go
she
behind the
can't.
camera very quickly? Are you guys still here?
We're still
You are
here,
still
and we
here?
loved
Oh,
it.
can you wave at me if you're here? All right.
We
Well, I
love
don't
you.
know
It was
why I
great.
can't hear you, but I guess I'll just... Oh,
Keep
man.
reading.
Bummer. All right, I'll just finish the second one, yes? Can I read the big book? All right, I see thumbs up. Oh, but I can't hear anything that you're saying. So sad. My jeweled heart.
Welcome
I'll figure
to
something out.
broadcasting. There you go. We'll figure this
All
out.
right, let's see.
David, we could say a lot of stuff now she'd never know until she listens to the show.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. But,
This is the
We're,
easiest
we're,
show we've ever done.
we're just too nice, Stephen. That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
And,
yeah, a bit of a
and for
technical issue for people that are watching and
listening,
listening today.
but that's okay.
Obviously, Noosh is a lot better looking than Stephen and I.
Whoa,
So
whoa, let's not get carried away.
there's a lot of plus stuff happening here. So
There you go. I think she's getting ready to read her book.
yeah,
It's been months, and the clouds that were above them when they met have long turned back into the ocean's mist, and clouds again that blinked away many rains across the globe, giving birth to more of their kind along the way. But this is not a story about the clouds, not even about them, or the others, or the rain. This is the story of butterflies, the ones that fly above us and make us smile, and the ones inside of us letting us flitter. Like the ticking clock of our metronome, their lives flutter in wings, in wind, and searching, not knowing time. But for us, time is of the essence. For many, the essence of life itself. How to see all the wonders of the world in such a short cadence narrated by breaths. This motionless tide that moves us all in one direction. The timing isn't right, she thought. The paper she's been thinking with between her fingers is slowly echoing her mind, in bits and pieces. That's exactly how she felt at this moment, slowly turning herself into bits, not knowing how to hold all those pieces slowly flying away. It was also volatile and new, but a bit nostalgic actually. She's been through this before. She just needed to hold on this time, right now, before it goes too far, before these thoughts succumb to the ether again. We won't let go. In a blink wrapped with one of her deep breaths, she dives in. Finally, she breathes, holding on air. This is the only place that she can always melt back into herself. The slightest touch of water has always brought her back to those precious moments she had the courage to live for, starting each year at dawn. I'm not sure how to quite describe the strike, that thundering bolt of clarity that masters over her body in that moment. I'll wait for her to come back to the surface to tell me again. With every thought, she would let a little bubble of air dance slowly, sweetly, towards the surface where she could see him talk to her. But there was not enough air left to keep this on. She had to come back. In one grasp, she breaks to the surface of her reality, facing him. Confused but whole again, she was unable to pick up on where this conversation was going, or even was about. How long has she been under? Maybe I should go, pretend that she forgot something related to the ticking flickers of a watchful clock. Is this the time? Goodness, I have to go. I'm so sorry. And so she was, leaving him again, unable to swim in any questions of his answers. Time to dive in, yet still in the surface of her mind, like in butter, ready to fly. Nina! Her eyes flutter back open. The gravity dropped on her wings. What is going on? She didn't realize that he had left their table and followed her to her car, holding her now by her arm. She could feel her heartbeat banging against his fingers. She could even feel his own pulse. He probably can't tell anything, at least not yet. Or so she hoped. Where are you going? I thought you had all the afternoon. I know I do, but I just have so much to finish. I can't keep spending so much time out. You know I have a deadline. I know you do. We're working on it together. I just have a lot on my mind. Please, can we meet another time tomorrow? I don't know if I can. He pauses, hesitant. Why don't you just tell me? I'd rather not. Please. Please, at least not today. Well, why don't you call me when you wake up then? You know, it's way too early for you. Why don't you, Joe? All right, okay, but wait. He slowly releases her arm, realizing he's been holding on her all this time. Is everything okay? She smiles at him, slightly detached, feeling her heart accelerating. You know me. It always is. She gives him a kiss, gets in the car, in one big breath, slowly blinking her eyes, holding on to its darkness, her own echoing abyss. Turns on the music right when the rain starts. And there she goes, diving in again. The rain makes it easier for her to wash it all over, erasing all the traces of her thoughts behind the steaming black road she was on. But it's as if those thoughts wouldn't let go either, and evaporated right away to still be present in the humidity of the air around, so that she could still feel it, even taste it with each inhale. How could thoughts be so pungent, she thought? If everything was okay, how to even start to answer this? I don't even know. The only thing we knew for now is that yes, they worked together so beautifully, and that today, with him back, she couldn't have spent one more second listening to him and the muffled sound of the seagulls in the back of her mind. Now that she had some time to herself, she kept driving for a bit, waiting for the sun to set, hoping that with its last rays her mind will slowly dim those echoing birds of hers. Of his, really. She loves the ocean so much. God knows we do. It has been a deep love affair between them two since the first time she almost drowned in her waves. But today he lightly tainted it with his own adventures, where there was no room for her to be, or anyone else's adventures for that matter. Or again, at least she thought. It's the first summer she will ever spend without her ocean. She decided it before the season even started. She wouldn't let anyone or anything distract what she was here really for. Wait, where are we? The light is so muffled by now, she can't read the tiny signs on those back roads she loves to carry herself on. She slows down and opens all her windows to lose herself one more time in the earth-sweating dusk, pupils out hunting for fireflies. As soon as we see the first one, we will find our way back home. That's something she did from her young years driving back from boarding school. But there were no fireflies back then. So she found her own constellation that was always there. As long as she could see that flickering bright star at the tip of that long triangle holding three light ones, from the right window in the back seat of her father's car, she knew she was on the right way back home. And so we do, to this day. But today the road she lost herself in didn't seem to have any of those burning lights in the skies ahead of her. None of those we follow were outside this right window of hers. Was she on the wrong path? Impossible. How could it be? So she decided to keep going until she would see it again. She couldn't bear the thought that this road she was embarked fully, was the wrong one. It's the first time that anything felt so aligned, immersed in her whole being. Again, stubbornly, we won't let go. And so she drove herself, hypnotized by her own mind's thoughts, still looking for that flicker in the darkest of nights. When out of nowhere, at last, that light strikes out. A shooting star, really. Her very first one. And the closest one she could ever get. Lost in thoughts, she pushed the wrong pedal and hit it full speed, screaming. Oh dear. She can't remember how she got the car to full stop, but the pain of holding the wheel so tight brought her back inside of it. And the moans outside forced her to slowly open her eyes. That's when she sees it at last. Her star, emerging out of the gray skies, shaking, and able to dive anywhere at that moment to escape what she had to do. There was only one thing left to. No escape, nor diving anywhere. She had to dive in the ether of the night and hold his moans in one last measure between her arms, measuring the beat on his neck, her fingers wrapped around. Oh, could we really do it? I know she always told everyone that this was the only way to be kind to such a creature in pain caused by our overspeeding pass. But again, in some weird way, she knew what to do. Like she did before, back then. With bits of peace, piecing her mind, knowing how to hold his neck to put him at peace. At once, diving in again, in tears. Her heart flutters, her jaw clenches, the beats pound in his neck. Her eyes get lost in the smoke of his soul, leaving his body in laments. Does he have to die? I wonder. She holds his slowly evaporating life in her hands, holding on so tight, feeling the trickling warmth of his blood. Everything slows down now. Bits and pieces, piecing her mind. What is he trying to tell her? The skies above have cleared up now, looking at her, melted in his warm puddle of a life. She doesn't realize that his heart is still slowly beating in her fainted arms. But the warmth of his blood is giving her comfort and conscious and asleep, knowing that this is the last time she could ever hold him again. Or so again. Was she? That night she missed all the fireflies hovering over them both. The power of the light is something stronger than the darkness of a time. Her soul drowned in the guilt of what fainted her, holding on the furry musk of what was the most dear. But again, she couldn't hold on to any of his bits. No pieces were left in her mind to hold on to either. But those lights above her spent their night to make sure they wouldn't drown too far in those deep red shades of life she surrounded herself with. Somehow. Nina? She slowly opens her eyes. How is he here? Buddy was in so much pain. What happened? She could taste the iron tannins of blood in her mouth. His hand was on her chest. Your heart is pounding. You're drenched. Let me call my doctor. No, please, no, really. Don't. Really, I'm fine. Where is all this blood coming from? Her whole bed was covered in Kandinsky's theme of another color. She couldn't remember how she got back home, or what really happened. But the blood that was left in her mouth tasted as good as a delectable hypnosis that turned her mind dark, red. butterflies. Why does this taste like my blood? A few days ago, he rubbed his hair in my face driving back on the way home after a long day of work, knowing the limit of our boundaries. I don't know if I should have said anything about mine, to be honest. But like he said, the truth is that I'm a liar. The way I love nowadays just to hold it, as my fingers swimming in between the softness and the liquid candle wax, slowly putting it close enough to the flame so that it burns, so slightly, but enough for me to feel it the next morning when I open my eyes. Just like us. I wanted to feel it every morning when I wake up, she said to herself, falling asleep. Bit by bit, in peace tonight. Or so he thought. Opening his eyes slightly, he wakes up feeling her pain again in his own bed. I still wonder where it came from to this day. Was it something she said? Or maybe something she made him feel the first day they met? That first moment that fluttered all the dormant caves inside your mind's body of work that yet has to be written? Was it the unspoken words he could never even spell in his enunciation of the world before his own very breaths of mind? Or was it her that just moved his vowels in a state that was impossible to spell? But again, what is spelling good for if you can't even find words to explain that red?
That was beauty. She can't hear us, but that was beautiful.
Oh, I still can't hear
Absolutely.
you. What a bummer.
Absolutely.
Can you? Well, I can. Oh, if I had a mirror, I could see a thumbs up. I have a feeling I can.
She can't see because she has her camera reversed.
I
That was
have, yeah.
beautiful. We're clapping.
Yeah.
When she watches
Yeah.
the video, she'll see. Very
Thumbs
beautiful.
up?
Very nice.
Oh,
Very,
applause.
very, very nice.
All right.
Very, very nice.
Well, how
Yay.
about you? You keep talking. I'll just make faces until you guys are finished.
So that was
I
excellent.
am
So
ready
next week,
to add the faces.
there you go. So next week she will be back with more
Oh,
stuff.
by the way, could
I
you
like that.
hear? Because I had the ocean with the seagulls in the back. I don't know if you did notice.
I don't know if we
Because
noticed
Yeah.
I
that.
don't
Did
know
you notice
Yes.
that, Dave?
that
Yes.
technically
Yeah.
would
Okay.
I
work
know.
with a recording. Anyway, that's it.
I'm
Zip.
gonna let the new that was great. All right, here, let me just tell her that was great. That was great. We have to. I feel like we're doing backward stuff. That was great. So we're gonna whatchamacallit. We're gonna say goodbye to Miss Noosh, and we will see her next week. I like her penguin, and then we will go from there. David, would you like to say anything before we go?
No, it's always the same when we have Noosh on the show, really, Stephen. It's
It's wonderful.
she kind of leaves us speechless, and that's a very difficult thing to do.
I know she
But
was wonderful, 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 wonderful. Noosh, you can't hear us, but mwah, we love you and thank you. David,
thank
love
you,
you, thank you.
thank you.
I'll see you next show.
We'll
Bye, guys.
see you on the other side.
Oh, that's right. The human fabric. Let's get that in there really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, the human fabric. That's what her show's going to be next week. Love it.
Human fabric.
All right, guys. See y'all soon. Cheers.
Bye bye.